Hey everyone, it's me, Jen, and I'm nothing if not intense. Can you guys hear me? I have to try to find my chat and all that good stuff. But I think this is working better this time, but now I can't find my chat. Hold on. Uh-oh. Okay. Control room. Okay, how did I do this before? I want to be able to see the chat, obviously. Oh my goodness. Okay, cool. Hi, Pastor Mo. Hey, everybody. Hey, Sleep Dep. Hey, Robert, Officer UFO. Hey, Michelle. How are you? Oh, thank you, Officer UFO. Is my volume okay? I know I've got like this janky mic, but hopefully it sounds okay. I have a tickle in my throat, and the tip of the day: don't shovel snow angrily, or you will screw your back up. Oh my gosh, hi Linda, I'm so sick of this snow. Like, I'm so over it. So apparently today I was shoveling snow and was pissed about it, and now my back is killing me. Hey, Dalen, hi, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce your name. Oh, thank you, Robert. Yeah, hey, Sleep, what's up? This winter has been the crappiest winter since 2013. I mean, this winter, we're getting hammered every day almost, between the snow, the polar vortex, then in the middle of all that, we have a huge thunderstorm a couple weeks ago. Scared the crap out of me. Hey, Truth Bomb, what's up, bud? I was sitting in my living room, I don't know, doing something Las Vegas related, and I'm like, I think I just saw lightning. I'm like, no. And then boom, and my dog starts freaking out. And at one point, I'm like, do I need to go in the basement? I mean, 3 days ago, it was like -20, and now we're having a thunderstorm. So, anyway, I am totally over this winter. Tonight, I don't know. What do you guys want to, Dalen? Okay. Thank you. What do you guys want to talk about? I don't know. I've got the Luxor 444 or 445 on my mind. Yeah, Michael. A couple weeks ago, I was like, global warming my ass. Oh, God, that was horrible. Like, go out and you're just like, I cannot feel my face. It was awful. Thank you, Exa. I appreciate that. I mean, spring's got to come, and I think he saw whatever makes spring come sooner is what's supposed to happen this year, I believe. Hey, KL, what's up? Glad to see you here. Hey, 10. So I don't know. I'm hoping spring gets here soon, because this winter has been a rough one for sure. Hey, Paladin, what's up? Okay, ideas, because I had ideas, but then I like, let's talk cremation. Hey, Marie. Hey, Bill. Cremation of whom? Cremation of the supposed Stephen Paddock? Or are you just being silly? Hey, Howie, what's up? It looks like Dillinger is in the house. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Why does this happen? Well, it's only my second live stream, so again, I'm feeling dirt to dirt, but I think I started much more smoothly than the last time. KL, are you serious? Oh my goodness. That's a thought, but I don't know if we're there yet, are we? Oh, that's going to be a doozy when we get there. That will be a doozy. I don't know if I'm prepared for that tonight. But it's, I would say shocking. I don't know. That's the way I think. So, yeah, I agree. Do you think the plane crash in California, the guy who claims to be Chicago, Cheryl, that is some weird stuff right there. And the whole, his wife, I don't know what her name is, Kim, Debbie, who knows, the whole sushi restaurant thing in Reno. Now, we know, I think we know, that he lived in Reno and he loves sushi. So my guess would be that more than likely he had been to that restaurant. I mean, just right off the top of my head, right there could be a connection. They were both pilots, right? There's another connection. There, that whole story is very strange. Oh, thank you, Axa. So yeah, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. And Brian Shields has been doing some great work on all that. And then farmers like getting in the car and going to the KG Quilter and Pastor, what, my last live stream? Or I think that's the last thing I did. I still have not had enough guts to watch the whole thing. So who even knows what I said? But and I'm really, and I apologize because I have this horrible habit of saying a sentence and then saying, and I almost feel like I need one of those shock collar like things for the dogs, like underground fence on me. And somebody needs to zap me every time I say, So I'm really trying not to do that. And I apologize if I do that because I don't want to do that. It's just dumb. There's also those weird, people say it was a drill in like Long Beach, but actually I work with somebody and her husband he was in the Army. He did, I know, at least one tour. He was in Iraq and now he's in the National Guard. But now he is taking classes and he is in LA, somewhere in that area, to be an executive, like say one of Steve Wynn's bodyguard type guys. And he's out there training for 6 weeks right now. So I was talking to his wife, who I work with, about this whole thing in LA. And I'm like, man, that shit looks weird. I don't think that looks like a drill. And, they're like, oh, okay, where's your tinfoil hat, Jen? Blah, blah. I'm like, hey, I'm just saying. So the next day she comes to work and she's like, he said that those types of helicopters, those Chinooks, they would not be doing some drill with those helicopters. Whatever they're doing, that's the real deal. So they were on some type of mission. Now, at this point, I don't see anybody relating that to any Las Vegas stuff, but still, I just thought that was pretty interesting. And I would freak out if I woke up and saw all that shit going on out my window. I would be freaking out. But yes, I definitely think that other plane crash has the potential to have some type of ties to whoever orchestrated this thing in Vegas. That's just my opinion, but because there's just a lot of shady. There has been so many sketchy things that have happened to people, to witnesses since then. I don't know. I don't even know how to wrap my head around it. Oh, El Chapo. Cheryl, are you talking about the stuff that was going on in LA? Yeah, no, I don't think that was a drill for sure. No, I didn't think it was. And then the people at work poo-pooed me. And then she, asked her husband, who was actually out there training to be some security dude for Super Bowl weekend. He went and worked a Super Bowl party at the an old CEO, or this dude used to be the president of Warner Brothers Pictures or something. So, I mean, we're talking high dollar shit going on out there. But anyway, I don't know how that's going to apply to him here in, freaking rural Indiana, rural Michigan. I don't know where he's going to get us, what assignments. I mean, obviously we have, presidential, like the president will come here and speak, and in Grand Rapids, Lansing area, things like that, and then down in South Bend, and then we have Notre Dame close to us. So I don't know if it would be stuff like that or what, but that's her problem. He's her problem, not mine. So I don't have to worry about it. I just have to listen to her piss and moan about him sometimes at work. Okay. El Chapo, rumors of turning evidence. Bill, are we relating this to Las Vegas or, well, hey, I didn't even think about that, but I've felt for a long time that there was some type of drug trafficking or something. Why was the DEA there that night clearing floors? Why was the DEA in the Department Operations Center, which is supposed to be for the, elite and the people that are really running the show? I don't know. Why were they there? Because it doesn't make sense to me. Typically, DEA would come out on an active shooter call. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Okay, Dalen. Robbie Williams, me and my monkey. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Dalen, but I'm sure Sleep knows, so should be all good. The analyst, Metro was at Switch for 5 hours. Yeah, Switch. I don't know if you guys know what Switch is, but Switch is like this huge, ginormous, I hope I explain it right, housing of all the networking and the cloud stuff for Metro, for the courts, for whatever, for the Clark County, probably. I mean, it's huge. It's huge. And I think that night were pretty worried about that facility. Well, and there's actually more than one, but mega data storage. Yeah, it's the data storage for the whole freaking world out there. It's big. And the first building that these people bought was in the old Enron building. So it was big. Rent a server place. Yes, Paladin, thank you. Hey, Dalen, I will do that. And I think I remember seeing something about that, me and my monkey thing. So I can look at that. Oh, okay. So KL's saying it houses eBay, PayPal, Amazon. Those are some big clients of theirs. And also, I know that the LVMPD, all their stuff is housed there also. And I would imagine that Clark County courthouse, all that stuff would be housed there. So it's a pretty big deal. For a long time, you couldn't even get in there. But then I think they do tours now, things like that. But obviously you're not seeing what's really going on there, or they wouldn't let you in. So, but not only were they concerned about the Switch facility, the big one, I think last count I knew there was like 10 of them. in the area throughout, Las Vegas, the Paradise, probably Henderson area in there. Oh, analyst said the Switch could have handled all the body-worn camera edits. I never thought about that. Switch has issues with the SEC. They did an okay, so apparently Switch did an IPO the same week of the shooting. Oh yeah, definitely. There were they had to get CSI out there for what, I don't know. And that was one thing that I was really into for a while, and then squirrel, something else shiny caught my attention, and I was just thinking about that today. I have so many unfinished little portions of things that I've been working on, and at some point I hope to start tying some loose ends up, because I tell you, I know not only myself, but I'm sure there are a lot of other people out there that have done the same thing, because it's so easy to as you're researching whatever topic you're working on, something else catches your eye, and then that takes you in another direction. And it is just like, all the tributaries of a big river, you can just get way, way off track really easily. So that's one thing that I hope to get a handle on here soon, because there are so many things still left to be discovered in this whole thing, for sure. Even thinking about, I remember at one point I was like all about this code red, because we know they did a code red from the MGM Festival CP, which was inside the venue. They did a code red on that, 10:07, 10:08, whatever time that was. They did a code red on the suspicious possible 445 device at Luxor, and that was at around, I think, 10 after midnight on the 2nd. But then probably what a lot of you don't know is there was another code red. And this code red, I believe, and this is just off the top of my head, was at around 1:30 a.m. And it was at a home that was on the golf course near the Strip. There's that big hoity-toity, I want to say like it's called the Canyon or something like that. So I was intrigued by that. And when I looked up the address, the owner of that home came back to a Shannon Ektabar, who was, during the time of the BP oil spill, I don't know what year it was in the Gulf, the huge, huge oil spill. He was a bigwig. I don't think he was a bigwig in BP, but he was a bigwig in one of our main, I think Texaco, something like that, one of the big oil companies. Well, now he is, oh, hey, Truth Bomb, sorry you're not feeling good. Go to bed, feel better tomorrow. I appreciate you at least coming in for a little bit. Not a problem. Take care, bud. But now this Shannon Ektabar guy is the CEO of his own oil company in Oman, which is right by, Dubai and Saudi over there. So that interested me, and that is the closest thing I've really ever came to any type of Saudi connection in this whole thing. And I'm not even saying that it's a Saudi connection, but all the stuff that I had looked at regarding the home, the house was then up for sale. It went up for sale pretty quick after this whole thing. I think it was up for sale when I looked at this stuff. And when he originally bought it, he was living, or stated that he was living in London. I'm not sure. Hey, John Boy, what's up, bud? But then I remember I had heard that scanner traffic. I went to work the next day. I thought I had it written down, and I was gonna do some research at work, and I can do that when I've got all my other stuff done. I'm afforded that opportunity. I try to get all my stuff done and not let it affect my work. But sometimes I've gotten a little like, hey, dude, you need to actually do your work, not this Las Vegas shit. So I try not to take advantage of it. But so anyway, I thought I had the address with me, but I didn't. So I'm like, okay, what was that address? I had it close. I was one house. I was looking at stuff for the house beside this house. Well, that house had some dude they were like some diplomat, and there was like all these corporations, and so that could have even been something, I don't know. But then I figured out the correct address and came up with this oil guy. But so these are the things that are out there. I mean, and it's not just that, there's more than that, but that's just kind of an example of one thing that probably not a lot of people know. Why was there a code red? A code red when there's the quote unquote largest mass shooting going on in the history of the world. And that's all, I mean, that was their main focus. And they're going to code red this dude's house. So what was going on there? What was going on at the Switch facility? What was going on at the home at 1694 Santiago Drive, which got a lot of officers heading that way? And you hear, yeah, I can see there's bullet holes in the trunk and of this vehicle, and it's hit over here, and da 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 da. Well, we need to research that. Those are the types of things that we need to be looking at. We don't need to be, and this is just my opinion, but it's so easy, and I know I tend to want to do it myself too, is to keep going back to looking at rooms 135 and 134 and all that stuff. But I don't really think that is where our attention needs to be focused. And that's just my opinion. You guys may feel differently, but all that shit was set up. We're never going to get this full story out of there. The story is away from those two rooms, number one. The story is probably even away from Mandalay Bay per se, other than like the weird dude in the center core and things like that. I mean, I'm not saying don't ever look at anything there, but I really, really think, like, dudes, we have researched and investigated the shit out of those two rooms. So I think we're just spinning our wheels when we're doing that. And I think, or if somebody is wanting to keep our attention there, maybe that's for a reason. I don't know. And I'm not accusing anybody of anything. It's just my thoughts rolling off the top of my head at this point. So let's start thinking a little bit outside the box, I think, and outside the van and outside the strip even, Oops, zing, somebody hit that and shocked me because I just said, sorry. That's the only time I've said that, I think, unless I've been saying it a lot and didn't even realize it. But where do you guys think the focus should be? I don't know. I just think, like, we're over 134 and 135. I'm so over that. I'm kind of over the van, although I do have more stuff on that. And that's pretty much to say that, really, I don't think they found Jack in the van, and all that shit's either made up to make him look worse because they got to make their patsy look bad, or it was in a different vehicle because there were other suspects and other people within this group that they were looking for, more than likely caught and got their vehicles. So we don't know if that stuff was even there, number one. I would say if it is, it was certainly not in that van. So what are we doing there? I mean, what floor Ellsbury said was already cleared when it wasn't. Oh boy, Allsbury, he was a character. He seemed to be kind of in the middle of everything. Um, he really. Hey Charles, how are you? Good to see you. Hey Matt. Um, Hi Christine. I don't know if I've probably missed some of you guys. Mark, I apologize. I'm trying to do the best I can, but I've been sitting here talking, like not even really looking at the chat. So I apologize. Faux. Many fake Vegas cops have thick eyeglasses on. Is it true real cops need to have good vision? I don't know about that, Faux. I don't think so. I mean, I would think as long as the glasses or contact lenses corrected their vision to a certain point, like, I mean, they can drive a vehicle. I think they could be a cop. I don't know. I've never looked into that, but that kind of makes sense to me. I don't think that unless you're like legally blind, more than likely if you have taken corrective measures for your eyesight, I don't think that would take you out of being an officer. Maybe when you're looking into being SWAT or something like that, maybe that's when that comes into play more so. But as a regular Metro officer, I would highly doubt that. I would highly doubt that would cause you not to be able to be on the force, but I could be wrong. I want, yeah, 4RE. I think everybody wants body-worn camera from inside 134. And now, this is purely speculation. But when I read Bitsko's statement, at a certain point, he's like, we go back to the CP at South Central and we review the body-worn camera. And his statement, I don't have it right in front of me, so this is not quoting exactly. This is kind of verbatim what I can remember off the top of my head. But he says, we needed to see how much of the room that we got, like how much of the room that we can see on the body-worn camera. And then, oh, well, and it was still a active event and we needed real-time blow. What? None of that shit made sense to me other than we needed to see, or they wanted to see exactly how much shit got captured on his body-worn camera and what they needed to get rid of ASAP, in my opinion. And did Bitsko go into 134? Now, from what we've got, no, it doesn't look like it. But what did they do back at South Central with his body-worn camera? And more than likely, Dave Newton's. We don't know. We've never gotten a statement from Newton, ever. So that just, when I read that just struck me like, what in the F? How would that footage at that time, like say 3:34, 5 o'clock in the morning, you've got control of the room. Anything that you need to see in the room, you can just waddle your happy ass right on over there and look at it for yourself. You don't need to look on the body-worn camera. They were looking at what actually was captured on his body-worn camera. And if they didn't, and again, I don't know, but if they did not put that camera on the dock, it certainly would, I believe you have to dock it to upload it to the cloud or whatever. I could be wrong, but if they could have reviewed it, cropped it, edited it, whatever, before it ever got uploaded to the cloud, well, wouldn't that be great? Would that not be great? Because I'm telling you, there was something wrong with it. How is he standing there going, oh yeah, yep, it's what I see, one shooter, when he hadn't even, as far as we know, even peeked his head into 134. How the F would he know what's in 134, what it looked like if it was only one shooter? He didn't know shit, according to what we can see. It could be something very different. I mean, and conveniently, his didn't have a timestamp. I don't think Newton's was timestamped. So, did they have some leeway in that regard? I think so. I really think so. So, when I read that, I was just like, aha, you know, because like, why are you going back? And, we didn't review all of it, like, kind of like, oops, once he started saying that stuff, he realized I probably should not be talking about this. And I don't know what the exact, obviously, if it's an officer involved shooting, something like that, I believe that they cannot review it until the supervisor or a fit detective looks at it first. Then they can review it. Then they can do the walkthrough, whatever. But as far as, hey, we've got this major incident going on, I'm halfway through, I've still got 5 hours left, but I'm going to stop, we're going to pause, and we're going to look at this body-worn camera footage. Kind of sketchy, if you ask me. So that's another thing. I don't think we'll ever see BWC from 134 ever. We won't. Ouija, what's up, brother? Newton knew they were a camera on the cart, then bitch go validates it. The cart, briefly. The cart. In a body-worn camera, as they're all breaking up. At first, Percat was going to have the rookie Varson hold the room, oops, gosh darn it, I don't want to say, but during that time when they're figuring out who's going to do what, they're going to stay on the door, stay on the room. As Percat, he was the officer that was with Newton and Bitsko. And did he have the, no, he didn't have a shield. But he was the one with I think he had like on a gray polo shirt with jeans. As he is walking away to continue, or he's going to clear rooms back, they're going to re-clear those rooms. I swear he grabbed something off that cart as he walks by. And I just noticed that a week or so ago. And now I'm like, what flipping body cam was that from? So, and what did he grab off that cart? What did he, I swear, as he's walking by, his left hand, he reaches out and he grabs something off that cart. So, just weird things like that. Or it could just be me losing my mind. Oh, Dave Newton's had the timestamp on it? I don't remember that, but I can't keep track of. It just seems like the ones that I felt would be the most important, a lot of those are the ones that don't have timestamps. And then you've got root-de-doo down blocking traffic at some stupid ass corner, and it's got great, a great picture. It has the timestamp. You can hear everything. I'm just like, of course. Of course. So, and that was probably done purposefully, that was probably done with a purpose. So those are just some of a very minute part of what goes through my head, probably on a daily basis. And, of course, Mary Lou, she's always there. She's been like my most highest priority that I've done my research on. And sometimes I just need a break from her and that stuff. And hey, Ellen, well, be my guest. You just lay back and watch. You don't need to type. Those were his rooms over and over. I guess casino. You're right, Michelle. I mean, you step off that plane, you pretty much have a camera up your ass. I don't know. So the Fusion Center, where were they? What were they doing? Did they do anything that night? I don't know. Kicks could be the loud sounds we hear while they're checking the windows. Oh, I will, Ellen. I'm on it. But sometimes I just need to take a little break and do something else for a minute. Rose. That name, Abu Sayyaf, buys guns in the Philippines. You know what else they did? They're into drug trafficking. I believe. Yes, Charles. Levi was on Convention Center. Levi was on South Central. Levi was on SWAT 1. Levi was on multiple channels. Multiple channels. Have we heard anything on the FOIA request on Danley's employment, a savage alpaca? I don't believe so. I haven't. Sleep or LVSA, somebody like that would probably know more about that. Ouija Fusion Center was busy watching their trap wire operation. But there are so many cameras. So many cameras. True, Michelle. Yeah. Or the timestamps were, I will say, the ABC thing that a killer on the 32nd floor. Oh my gosh, could you F with that footage anymore? Those timestamps were so. Do you ever see a semicolon in a timestamp? They really screwed those up. Not a damn one of them, nor their worker. Not sure what we're talking about there. But so that a killer on the 32nd floor, the most comprehensive documentary or series made thus far about the shooting, not so much. I was not impressed. And obviously I could tell that the date and timestamp on any of the footage in the elevators and things like that was not the original timestamp. Somebody put that in there because there's a semicolon in there, and you don't see a semicolon in the time on a timestamp. I guess I never have. So that whole thing was kind of a joke, if you ask me. Oh wow, Kale. She has a count of 298 body-worn cameras with timestamps, and several of those were the same officer. And that makes sense. Some of those, like the snoozler. And I think to myself sometimes, like, really, Jen, you should not be talking about anybody else's nasal stuff and voice, but the lady that was with the female officer that was with the guy that fell and broke his ankle, but she was there the rest of the night with Mitchie, and she was just snoozling up a storm with her allergies in her eyes, and oh my gosh, great picture, timestamp, the whole deal, and tons of that footage, hours of that footage, hours upon hours of the snoozler. So it's things like that you get. And then there's the two officers that are blocking traffic down by UMC, and that's a good 2.5 hours or so. A lot of people probably didn't watch that whole thing, but there is a lot of good stuff on that one, actually. Sometimes the wind gets a roaring and you're like, damn it, right in a good part. And I swear the wind worked with the LVMPD, because there are times you just know they're getting ready to say something that you're going to be like, aha, and then the wind or a helicopter, and you cannot hear shit. And then you're like, oh, that sucks. And then the music in the casinos, I would have thought that they would have turned that off or turned that shit down. I don't know what the SOP is on that, but that shit got annoying too. But there was a song that I heard that I hadn't heard in a long time, and so I went in my old playlist and found it, and I listened to that now. But other than that, that shit was kind of annoying. And it seems like it made it so much harder for the officers to communicate, having to yell over all this music and stuff. Oh, officer. I see Charlton's name came up. You know, Charlton, I used to really like him. I didn't agree with him, but I still was like, dude, you crack me up. You're funny. And now that at a certain point, that shit just got really weird. And instead of getting upset about it and like what is going on, I just unsubbed. And from time to time, I hear about something he's doing, but I don't know what to think about him. When he started saying anybody that wasn't on narrative was basically against the victims and we were intentionally trying to hurt the victims, I was like, oh, no, pump the brakes there, buddy. That was bullshit. Pissed me off. I think I said my piece probably on one of his videos, and that was it. I just unsubbed. I'm not going to go, troll on every video he makes telling him how stupid it was or whatever. If that's the way I felt. If I don't like it, your content, I'm probably just going to unsub, and I would recommend that to people. And for whatever reason, a lot of people seem to just continually be on somebody's channel and they don't like the content, but they just come back for more and more and more and watch every freaking video and comment on every video. That's not me. I have better things to do with my time. So Charlton, I just don't even know what to say about him. Oh, Charles, that would be awesome. I don't think we'll ever get that. A candid Danley interview to solve the case. She holds many, many, many answers to this, in my opinion, for sure. But like I said, we've never heard from her. I mean, I could call a lawyer tomorrow and have him put a statement out on my channel over YouTube. Now, are you actually hearing from me? No, you're hearing from some freaking lawyer from BFE that doesn't know squat about anything. Or, actually he does. He can't say anything. But I don't consider that a statement from her. When you put something out through your lawyer, sorry, I need to see you. I need to see your face. I need to see your lips moving. When you do that and you get out in front of the public, that's what I consider making a statement. Not through some lawyer. So that doesn't cut it with me. Look me in the eye and let me know what's going on. Either way, I don't know. She could have still lied, but it's much easier. I would think it would be much easier when you have a story that's not the truth, obviously, to put that out through a lawyer. That's the easy way out. So, oh, Ed, I don't know what's up with that, but you're right, Matt. I think you're right. If Danley ever did do an interview, it would be scripted. And, who knows? If she ever does do an interview, guess who will do it? Probably flippin' Ellen. She did Campos and Shuck. Why not give her Danley so she can just give Danley her story like she did Jesus and Shuck? You're right, Linda. She is central to this thing, I think. She is central to this thing. And again, I have never said that I have any thoughts on exactly like, oh, she was shooting or she killed the guy that was in 135 or anything like that. I don't know. I do not know what her involvement was other than she was involved. She is like central to this whole thing, in my opinion. Exactly how she fits, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, for sure, Charles. Yeah, Officer UFO. I'm just saying, if she ever did do an interview, that's who would get the interview, Ellen. I mean, they're not going to put her. She's not going to go on Hannity or in front of Tucker or anything like that. It would be another POS Ellen interview. 10 says he will always be grateful to Charlton for October 2017 to February 18 days, as he was a place to comment before chats. And the Eric interview is strange and sounds scripted. Linda, I don't want to put Eric down. I'm not putting Eric down in any way, shape, or form. I think he's compromised. I think he knows what he's supposed to say, and he says it. And he says it with crazy eyes and shit and all his, weird stuff that he does. Pastor Mo, maybe. But I would doubt it because I don't know. I doubt it. I just think people, and obviously, maybe she's scared. I don't know. I would have been scared being in the clutches of Aaron Rouse, no matter what my position was. If I had something on them or they had something on me, just being within his line of sight would be enough to. I would be screaming, I want to get the hell out of here too, because he just gives me the creeps. But Charles, you disagree? You think she will talk? I don't think so. I don't know. I question her core. And her integrity. I don't know. I just don't ever see, because if she can get through this, and I only have Top Chat on. I don't have all of it. I apologize. If she can get out of this unscathed, as she has pretty much so far, why in the hell would she ever put herself out there and talk about this? It's not going to happen. I don't think it would ever happen. Officer UFO would live on Ellen, free give celebrity guests. So I think if she can stay hidden away like she has, that's what it will be for my lifetime, I believe. The Democrats are protecting Mary Lou. Night, Farmer. Night, John Boy. Night, Mary Ellen. Good night, farmers. Charles, because she wants to talk about it? You sound like you have firsthand knowledge. I don't know. And would it be the truth? I mean, I don't want to hear from her if it's just a bunch of bullshit. We've got enough bullshit. We don't need any more of that. We don't need a different story that isn't true or is a half-truth. We don't need that. So, Graham B., I don't know about that. I don't think that was ever, that was something that came out in the beginning, but I don't know if that was ever actually proven to be correct or not. You're welcome, Fit Angel. I'm sorry. I am who I am, and I can't help it. Thank you, Oregon Outback. That's what I thought. I didn't think Rouse was married to Podesta's sister, but ew. I mean, that would be a match made in ick heaven, probably. Ugh. Is he even married? I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. Good. It creeps me out. He just creeps me out. And I don't know if you want to get me started on the FBI thing, because I will say this until the day I die. They were the lead investigators on this freaking whole thing, not the LVMPD, the FBI. Why did the LVMPD Per an LVMPD PIO, Public Information Officer, why did they have to wait to release the final report? Why did they have to have FBI approve that report? Because guess what? If it's my investigation and I'm done with it now and I want to release my final report, guess who's going to be signing off on it? Me, not some other agency. If I'm the lead, if we're the lead, LVMPD, we're the lead investigators, why would we need somebody else's approval before we release our final report? And that's just one. That's just one of the many things that says, they were not the lead in this whole investigation. And my thought is, and it has been for over a year, that the FBI, if it would have been known that they were the lead investigators, that is their giveaway that there was somehow other things going on. It wasn't just a lone wolf shooter. You'd be looking in the realms of terrorism, anti-government, something that the FBI, it falls under federal jurisdiction. And those things do. Rose, I don't believe there's an ATF report. I don't think to this day, have they ever even been able to look at those weapons, which the 23 weapons that they found in the room, to me, because there are 4 more mentioned in the FBI. Well, I don't want to say it was an FBI, whatever, the active shooter report from 2016, 2017. It said there was a total that he used 4 weapons, and there were 23 more available to him in that room. Okay, so again, I'm not a mathematical dick, but 24 or 23 plus 4 is 27. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So they're saying that there were only 4 weapons used with whatever happened. Then the final report comes out and says he used 14. Well, again, I think somebody that's like in working with the FBI is going to know a little bit more about that whole situation. And then I see a lawyer, one of the lawyers, not Catherine Lombardo, who I'm sorry if anybody knows her and likes her and works with her, but sometimes I think she looks like a blue jay on crack. I don't know. She's weird looking too, but it was the Southern lawyer guy, I believe. Or no, it wasn't the real Southern guy. It was the guy that kind of really doesn't sound that intelligent, but he was talking to Tucker, and he said something about the 27 weapons. And I was like, 27 weapons. So that adds up to basically what was in that active shooter report. And again, that lawyer obviously had been working with the investigators to get anything that they could. And at that point, it wasn't much, but he was telling Tucker about that. And he said 27 guns. So what is it? Is it 27? Is it 23? Is it who the F knows? But I would tend to think that it was 27. 23 of those, the 23 that we see, are just for show. Were just stage set, whatever. I don't know what the hell they were, but where did the other 4 go that may have actually been used? I don't know. And were they even used in those rooms, on that floor, in that hotel? Who the F knows? Yes, KL, the guns did get destroyed, or they're going to. I don't know if there's a date set. Yes. And I think he paid like $62,000. I don't know why I have $62,000 stuck in my head. Battlefield Vegas, the next door company with the military vehicles and equipment. Good point, Officer UFO 1. Battlefield Las Vegas is a place that you can go and you can shoot and you can ride in tanks and all that good stuff, I guess. But they do have actual running, working military type tanks. And there were 3 that were brought down to the strip that night that LVMPD took advantage of using. And I believe some of Las Vegas Battlefield's people obviously were in those vehicles. Did they stay with them and they were out during all this? I don't know. Were these guys armed? I don't know. But when they're clearing before the door breaches on the 32nd floor, room 135, as the Fantastic Four are clearing rooms, Steve Morris Jr. is on his cell phone a lot. If you actually watch that body cam, he is on his phone a lot. And the way I hear it is that I want to say he said a sergeant from Battlefield Las Vegas called him first. So I think Steve Morris was key in getting that all set up. I mean, obviously he wasn't setting that up from the 32nd floor, but he probably was like, call so-and-so down at the CP and, we'll get you hooked up and you get going down here and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So, but he was definitely involved in that Battlefield Las Vegas stuff and obviously has a relationship with the people at Battlefield Las Vegas. Dalen, what did Campos bring to Mexico with him? He came back with 50 pounds, so at least a few buffets. Oh, don't even get me started on Campos. Because, back to the killer on the 32nd floor, that great, wonderful, comprehensive piece of shit that they put on TV for us. In the elevator footage on there that we do see supposedly Jesus in the elevator, that is Ellen Jesus. The Jesus that we see in body-worn camera that has the wound on the back of his calf, to me, is not the same dude that was in that elevator that we see at Mandalay Bay. Because that is chunky Jesus, and the one that was supposedly shot, to me, looks like skinny Jesus. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but just right there. And then obviously during that whole thing, they're talking to chunky Jesus. They're talking to the same Jesus that is on Ellen. But he stayed right. I mean, almost perfectly on narrative, same wording, same regurgitation of whatever was drilled into him at some point. Yes, Officer UFO 1. Battlefield Las Vegas is near there, and the Harley dealership and the where the helicopter landed. Yes, I mean, that was just crazy. Like, I'm like, seriously? Thank you, ABC, because this is totally that. Well, thank you, because we did get a little bit more. Obviously, we've got the elevator CCTV of Shuck and Chunky Jesus, which, I'm sorry, if anybody thinks the two guys, like the guy that was up on 32 and body-worn camera is the same Jesus that was in that elevator, I don't know. I mean, maybe I need to get back to RX Optical, but to me, that's like the two different Jesuses that we have seen all along. But I always felt like it should have been the chunky one that was the real one. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Yes, truth seeker, will the real Campos please stand up? And he did give a statement that early that morning at like 2:30 in the morning to a Henderson police officer. Written statement in the PDFs. Not one time does he mention the cart. He doesn't mention Shuck. He doesn't mention the L bracket, I don't believe. I mean, I don't know. And the L bracket, you guys, seriously, you know how I feel about that. Obviously, Stephen Paddock or whomever was in 135 and 134 did not put that effing bracket on that door. Didn't happen. I've said that from day one. At first, I was just like, when this all came out, I was like, there's no way that bracket didn't even exist. It's a lie, a total lie, whatever. Well, okay, so I guess it did exist. But, Charles, that's interesting. But Mandalay Bay Security is the one that put that L bracket up there. Because you have to realize there were things happening before 9:59, before 10:05, before 10:08. There were things happening before that. And somebody had gotten out from somewhere up there, and they didn't want any more people getting out. Shannon Alsbury's statement, I think it's Alsbury's, when Jesus, were they on the phone together? I think so. Yeah, he's saying, Jesus, chunky one or skinny one, I don't know, take your pick. Whoever was on the backside of that stairwell door, Jesus said when he couldn't open it, he heard drilling. Now, what our creative LVMPD has done is they took that quote-unquote drilling sound that he said he heard and said, but that was inside the room, from deep within the room in 135, which I called bullshit on that a long time ago too, just because of the way they were describing it and making such a big deal about it. I'm like, that's bullshit. What he told Osbury is, it sounds like it's right on the other side of the door. So like he got there right as security was, quote unquote, as Alsbury says, bolting that door shut. Now, why would they be bolting that door shut? So no other shooters could escape or bad guys could escape, because they had whoever stay down at the center core. That would be one escape, and then the only other escape would be that stairwell right there. So they bolt that. They pretty much got it locked down. They know nobody else is going to be getting off that floor, at least. So, yeah. He heard, I think, unfortunately, he just, I don't know. I don't think there was any, I think he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time and did kind of fuck things up, but not in the way that they're telling us. So, if you want to believe that Paddock or whoever put that stupid L bracket on the door that wouldn't really, who's that going to stop? I mean, from the other side, it looked like they used a fingernail file to pry the door open. I mean, it wasn't much, okay? It wasn't some elaborate, we're not going to let SWAT get up here, blah, blah, blah. And then at a certain point when they're like, oh, he had plans to escape. Well, okay, so that really makes sense that he would block his best exit when he was planning on escaping. How stupid do you think we are? They literally think we are brain dead morons. And sometimes they probably aren't wrong in that fact, but if you open your eyes and start looking at stuff, come on, it's just common sense. They can make up stories all freaking day long. Ellsbury thought somebody, yeah, the analyst, exactly. And Ellsbury thought, oh shit, somebody is bracketing all the stairwell door exits. But they had the reports of the shooter in the crystal room, and you had officers coming in, and you have security going, hey, there's a reported shooter in there. Oh, nope, we're going to 29 or 32. They didn't even give a shit. But then Security Lily tells us over and over in that control room that the crystal room was cleared somewhere, and she has exact times, between 9:59 and 10:20. The crystal room was cleared between 9:59 and 10:20. So obviously, if they had somebody in there, somebody knew something was up at 9, something, there was a log entry at 9:59. Was it Jesus and that bullshit? I highly doubt it, because she is very specific in those times. The cops are standing around chit-chatting, and when the one officer is like, the pellet gun? He got shot with a pellet gun? And the other officer is like, yeah, blah, blah. And he says, and the log shows at like 9:30 or something like that. If you really listen to that control room, you're going to be hearing about like things happening at 9:30, 9:40, more so in there versus 10:05, 9:59. So again, that's just their creative take on the whole situation and what they chose and how they chose to present it to us. But all the information's there, and Security Lily, bless her heart, she just gives us a lot of information. And then that kind of really correlates with the person that comes in the next day and just decides that, oh, all this shit is off by 20, 30 minutes or whatever, and changes all the audio to reflect the times that they have now created that are supposed to be the times that are going to come out to the public eventually. I'm like, oh, are you freaking kidding me? Just a trip. It's just a trip. Those people were very, very busy in figuring out what lie and how to cover this up, how to cover that up. But again, I've always said that there's some little portion of the truth in the lies. And that's what I always try to look for. And for me, with these people, and unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know which, I have some experience in dealing with people like this. But anything that they really exaggerate and want us to know, and we have, that's like, okay, whatever, the opposite. Anything they omit or they minimize, those are the types of things that we need to be looking at. I started thinking about the Ogden again today for whatever reason. And I can remember in a press conference, sheriff saying, now, the person or Airbnb or whoever and the owner of Life is Beautiful have nothing to do with this, and they've been great, and blah, blah, blah. So I always like, we need to check on those types of things, just because he made it such a point. Like, why would I even think that somebody that rented him at that point, I thought one condo or whatever at the Ogden, and the person that owns the Life is Beautiful thing, what would they have to do with anything? I wasn't even thinking in that realm until he said that. Like, oh, they have been so cooperative, and they've done nothing, and they had nothing to do with this, and blah, blah, blah. You probably didn't even really need to say that, but now since you said that, That makes me wonder, dude. Really makes me wonder. And why the overlapping condos at the Ogden are just unbelievable. I mean, that was a lot of money. That was a lot of condos. That was a lot of space. And they want us to think that one dude stayed in overlapping condos for a week. I mean, oh my goodness sakes. There's no way. And it even overlapped some of the Mandalay Bay. And then so when I was thinking about the Ogden, then that made me think of the officer, and it was early morning. I want to say like 3:30, 4 o'clock, probably in the morning. They're up on the, who knows, 35th floor, whatever. They're still clearing floors, but they're kind of all standing around talking. And the one officer says, yeah, I worked overtime last week. I worked the Life is Beautiful concert. And I was working, I think that ended on a Sunday too. And I worked that Sunday. And they told us in briefing that day that if anything's going to happen, tonight's the night. They really stressed that. Be extra careful, blah, 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 blah. Like almost like, I felt like he was saying almost like they had heard some chatter or something, or they were more prepared, that they thought something may happen. And if it was going to happen, it was going to happen on that last night. And then he says, but they didn't say anything like that to us today or yesterday, whatever, the last day for the Route 91 concert. They didn't, it was not stated like that in briefing at all, which I found kind of odd. But then he's the same officer too that either before or after that just comes out with, well, yeah, we couldn't shoot back. I mean, we would have to know the airdrop, the trajectory, the wind speed. And I mean, it was almost like word for word what was on that stupid note that I don't believe I think Matchko, or I'm just throwing a name out there, whoever was in that room or Stephen Paddock did not write that freaking note. But he basically quoted that note word for word. And I'm just like, that is so weird. That is just weird. So I don't know if they were thinking something was going to happen that weekend before at Life is Beautiful on that last day or what. But that's the way that officer made it sound. So, yeah, yes. Charles, yes, good point. Danley and Paddock were well known at Mandalay Bay. Guarantee a lot of employees know Danley was there that night. I'm sure they do, and I'm sure it was, if you talk, you lose your job. I mean, I know people were threatened, probably, obviously, to keep their mouth shut. I think that there's a lot of that going on out there. A lot of that. The analyst, yeah, Levi could have written it. Who knows? I mean, there were more than a couple officers in there. But Bitsko, because I don't know why I was watching I don't even know what I was watching, but today he's like, oh, yeah, what's that over there? Is that got numbers on it? And I think actually there was something that was laying out that had phone numbers on it. But then it turned into this, look at this evil, maniacal person with his calculations. How the wind blew the note off the table, and Jesus Christ, that note, like, there was so much going on with that note. I'm like, there's no way that Paddock wrote that note. I really do not think he would have done it like that anyway. If he would have done it, I don't know. That was just my opinion. But so in some pictures, there's the weird looking goofy fat pen with the note and the tape on the table. Some pictures, it's not there at all. I mean, who knows? I don't know. Whoa, I think I missed that too, Cheryl. What's this about Paddock being seen at the Ogden with an Asian woman? What, that week before? Super hipster Asian bar. Footage of him. But I do know they said they picked up. Oh, yeah, 4RE. They were down there. They were at the Ogden early on the 2nd, trying to get that footage and all that stuff at the Ogden. Discerning Light. She was at a concert that weekend in Vegas, and there were lots of cops with a dog as we came in and exited. Shields worked out numbers and notes. There's a site note on bar. Yes, and there is another note that says unplug phones, but in the FIT report it says the note with the calculations was the only handwritten note that they had found. So I was like, oh, well, apparently that was typewritten then that said unplug the phones. I highly doubt it on a notepad. So it's just those are just little lies and inconsistencies. They're much bigger, but you can't even be honest about that. So what is it? Is it, I'm sure the unplug the phones note, I tend to believe that. So maybe there was only one handwritten note in there, and it was that, not that other piece of crap that they're trying to pawn off on us. Yes, analyst. OJ was being released. OJ did get released that night, so there were a lot of media in town for that, which, how convenient. How convenient that all this media is there. Pastor Mo, and I don't know, I know that you've done like his women, the other women, whatever, and I need to go back and rewatch those, but I remember when he was buying the vehicles at that dealership, the salesman there, or the owner, I don't know, I guess the salesman, said that Paddock told him that he was having relationship problems. Now, Mary Lou told, I don't know if it was at the same car dealership or whatever, or who she told, if she was working with somebody else, but that, she had been in a bad relationship and now she's not, and blah, 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 and, everything's all hunky-dory and kumbaya. So, I just wonder if maybe Mary Lou was on her way out with him for whatever reason. And were these other condos, like at the I can't say that, that concert in Chicago, when he supposedly rented those rooms there but never went, and then all the rooms that he had at the Ogden, was he starting to see maybe another woman and she had her crew with her? I don't know. That's just a thought. And that maybe him and Mary Lou were on the outs. But now, do I think that he sent her money in the Philippines because they were breaking up? No, that's bullshit. I'm not saying that, but I just wonder if there weren't more people starting to come into the picture for him, or had she maybe found another quote unquote whale? And what was their relationship anyway? Was it just more of a business relationship, or was it lovey-dovey? I don't know. Oregon Outback. Well, I don't know. Apparently he was a stud. I don't know. I do not know. it's just weird. I don't know. That was just a thought that was running through my head because it's just weird. Ew. Brady. Yikes. He had multiple Ogden rooms that they overlapped with, yes. For tours, I think they were entertaining guests that week. Right, and I always wondered why the family court thing. Was the chick with the 2 kids there, too, that seemed to be at Mandalay Bay. Bye, Charles. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Right. She wouldn't. Right. Well, who you're gonna buy a house in the Philippines, and if you have $100,000 or $150,000, I highly doubt she was gonna be buying a house in the Philippines. She likes her nice things, and in the States, I'm sure that again is just more BS to make her look like a victim. Which again, over and over, she was painted out to be a victim. Well, Yimmy, I know that. I think that's BS. I mean, like, okay, so they tell us that story, and I don't even really want to say it out loud because yuck. But so he's so spent after doing it that he'd like sleep for days or whatever. But they expect us to believe that he shot 14 rifles from 4 different positions and did this, that, and the other thing. But the dude, can't even have sex without like almost being comatose afterwards. So what is it? I don't know. That's bull crap. And him, looking out the windows and at the view a few weeks before that is all that's crap. All that is total crap. And that's what kind of pisses me off about the whole Eric stuff and why I don't like him just kind of feeding us all that, oh yeah, he must have been losing his mind and blah, blah, blah. No, he wasn't. I highly, highly doubt that. I don't know. I don't even want to talk about Eric. I brought him up, so I apologize, but I just don't put a lot of stock into what he says. I'm sorry. And I'm not saying anything bad about him at all. It is what it is. But the way it comes, the way it's presented to us, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. KL, good point. Right. Why are we hearing about this old geezer's sex life and not ballistics or any other important thing besides what, he has a cigarette and then he sleeps for 3 days. I don't give a shit what he does after he did that, if he can even do it. Don't care. It's not relevant. It's not relevant. Exactly, Yimmy. That's what I was kind of saying before is we have to look at what's not being talked about, what's omitted, and pretty much anything that they really try to shove at us and exaggerate and really pound into us, that's the stuff that you can pretty much just toss out the window. You could be right, Linda, too, like kind of detaching herself from him alludes to the possibility of P being a completely fictional character with all the identity of all the I don't know about all that. Right. Yeah, you guys know, I mean, we've all been here together going through this. It was once in a while you think, aha, I actually figured something out. And then a day or two later, you're like, well, maybe not. I don't know. You just can't ever feel like you're getting a handle on something. I don't know. Maybe that's how I feel. It's crazy. And it's just another issue in his life that can control physical capacities. Yeah, good point, KL. Good point, officer. Like, different signatures, different. His license is in one state. This is in another state. Nurse had nursing treatment. Questions. PS nurse head tuck. Ellen, I don't know exactly what you're saying. PS nurse. I'm not sure about that, but I don't know if I want to even go there tonight, but man. So that hospital, any hospital footage we see is just weird, in my opinion. Very weird. Well, I don't know. I'm getting tired, I guess. I'm like fading fast. That other gal at Ogden and Exactly, Pastor Mo. Yes, that's kind of what I was trying to say, but I don't think it came out like that. I don't think it came out like that. Yes. Now I don't think she didn't, in my opinion, from what I've researched and stuff, I don't think she got to Mandalay Bay until the 28th. But I think that was his last day registered at anything with the Ogden, because it did overlap the 25th through the 28th. But after the 28th, that was his, I believe, his latest checkout date at the Ogden was the 28th. And that's when Mary Lou arrived at Mandalay Bay, was the 28th also. So yes, Pastor Mo, I'm with you, girl. I'm with you on that stuff. And there was something weird going on there. And then there were reports, and there were more than one report, that Mary Lou was working at Mandalay Bay. And I keep thinking about that. Like, the way it sounds is when she was the hostess at the Atlantis in Reno, that's where they met, and at a certain point he wanted her to quit so she could travel with him and blah blah blah, and she did that. So if they were breaking up or whatever, what did she get a job? Knew she had to go back to work. You know, he was going to maybe help her and get her settled in somewhere else or whatever the case may be. But it wasn't going to be him paying for everything and taking care of her like it was. So did she have to get a job? And did that start maybe sometime in August? Something started happening in August in my mind. And it's hard for me to explain at this point, but I just keep coming back to these things that were happening in August, like the middle of August of 2017. And eventually I'll get there and let you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, but I don't know. I don't know if she was working at Mandalay Bay in some capacity. Part-time, full-time, I don't know. In some capacity, there, I think, is a chance of that. And more than likely, they would work with her if she had travel plans before that were already made, or was she doing some traveling for MGM or Mandalay Bay? Was she traveling at certain points within that time frame, middle of August to October 1st, for her job or something at Mandalay Bay or MGM? I don't know. That's a possibility too. Because guess where MGM's going now? Japan. It's all about Japan. And in an MGM moment from like 2016, or no, the one just announcing a little while back about their whole Japan thing, the guy says, we've had teams and people going and working in Japan since 2016. So, I don't know. And do you guys realize that ex-governor or former governor Sandoval is now working for MGM, and he is like the president of whatever, blah, 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 this whole Japan thing? Did you guys realize that? So Jim Murren now has Sandoval, Harry Reid, and what's his name? Boehner, John Boehner, all working basically for him. So it's just amazing to me that MGM, they're locking it down for sure. They're going to probably, they've got the means and the ways to get what they want. They've got the connections. They have got some serious connections, and they've got their hands in a lot of things. Fasulo, KL, I think I saw, I don't even know, I thought it was Fasulo, Todd Fasulo Sr., which is, I would think would be Junior's dad, is Big Wiggy at Win, and Sandoval's at MGM. Yeah, it's just crazy. And that's what happens with a lot of these Metro guys when they retire. They go and work for casino. But now, like, Governor Sandoval and a captain or a lieutenant or whatever with LVMPD, that's that's two different things. So when you're talking Harry Reid, John Boehner, Sandoval, those are some heavy hitters politically. And you've got your connections, you've got your people. So it's just nuts. And Murren I would probably have an aneurysm if Rouse and him were in the same room and I walked in. I would just be like, ah! And I'd probably just fall over because they just creep me out so badly. They just really do. I couldn't do it. Those two in the same room would be off the charts, just creepy. Off the charts. There's no other way to put it. They just really freak me out. Truth Seeker Joe Lombardo's son is a bigwig at a casino. Really? That's interesting. I didn't know about that. Who's a Metro or higher up with the 2 water bottles in his hand, lying through his teeth about the body-worn cameras? Where was that at, Yimmy? 2 water bottles in his hand. I don't know exactly what you're talking about there. Las Vegas casinos are nothing but mafia running them. Well, the casinos are, yeah, they run Las Vegas, for sure. And it used to be the mafia that was running the casinos that was running everything, and that's not like that anymore. It would be better off probably if it was, because they have rules. They had, they're bad guy shit, but you better follow it to a certain extent. Now you've got all these freaking wackadoo globalist, socialist, new world order shit going on, and they don't care. They don't care about anything but their agenda and what is gonna suit them the best and what they want at that time. And that is it. There is no rules or guidelines or any line that they will not step across to get what they want or where they want to be. And that is much, much scarier to me than if the mafia was running it. Yes, exactly, KL. It's an elitist mob, and those mofos don't play well with others at all. At all. And if you get in their way, same way with the mafia, but still, they did have some lines or whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. It's just not coming out right. But these globalist people, game on. I mean, they don't care. They don't care what they're going to do, what they need to do to get what they want. And that's it. Bottom line. So that to me is scary. For sure. Could be right, Dalen. Could be right. And I don't think it's just in Vegas, but I think it's really pronounced there. For sure. I think it's very pronounced there. And it's just kind of, it is what it is. And MGM runs the show pretty much. Adelson, yeah, but between those guys, it's just not good. Not good. But it wasn't like that when the actual mafia was there running it. I think it was better probably then, if you could say that. I don't know. Yeah, there was some weird stuff going on there, Dalen, with the Win and the Sands and all that stuff. And, if you want to talk about that, then you've got Macau over there. They're all over there now. MGM is the little guy there because Adelson and Win were there and got there before him. So he's trying to play catch up there. But that's a whole nother story going on over there in Macau. And some of the parallels of that thing that happened in June of 2017 compared to what happened in Las Vegas in October were just, if you really looked at it, was like, whoa, did they take a page out of Macau in how to just totally bamboozle everybody and make them think that this is what this is? It was just weird. So I was kind of on that kick for a little bit, but like all that shit makes your head hurt, man. It just, you can only do so much. Officer UFO, I see what you're saying, but, and I'm not saying Illuminati, I'm saying like there is definitely to me like the New World Order people and these globalists that just want to basically take over the freaking world. You better believe they have their hand in this, in my opinion. In my opinion. You might think I'm nuts, but shit. Yeah. I'm not real well versed in all that Illuminati stuff, and I mean that can get all the numbers and this, that. I mean, you can actually attribute anything to that shit, I think. I don't know. Maybe not, but people that know it, and I'm not one of those people, so, and I will probably never be one of those people. But there's certainly that bigger New World Order stuff playing into this, I think. Okay, guys, so I am like getting super stuffed up and I'm losing my voice, and I just feel like I've been here like blah, 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 blah. I don't even know what I've been saying. So I hope it wasn't that bad. Oh, Discerning Light, yes. Resilient Cities. They changed because it was called something else before that. And then they had to change all their shit to Resilient Cities, and that's all like Department of Homeland Security and the National Forum crap that I think was Obama shit. Yes, for sure. Discerning Light, exactly. I have looked into that stuff. Yeah, that gets real weird, the framework for the resilient cities. And it's even globally because, yes, that's what they used in London and all the stuff where these other attacks happened. And they had to, try to work all this into the framework of the resilient city. Hey, VS, what's up? Discerning Light saying Rockefellers. Who knows? Could be. If somebody used True Pundit as proof of anything, I don't know about that. Well, I hope I didn't bore you guys to death. And like I said, I just feel like I've been like, la, 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 la. I don't even know what I've been talking about. And I hope I've been making some sense, but everything seems to be going okay. But now I am seriously like losing my voice and I'm really stuffed up, but I appreciate it so much, you guys. Like, you don't even know how much I appreciate your support. It's so cool because who knows? I never knew I'd be doing what I'm doing now and be in this position and then like doing a live like last week. By the time that thing got started, I was so stressed out. My head was pounding. I was getting so pissed because I didn't know what I was doing. So I think this one went a little bit better. And like, hey, you know, I'm not super drunk. I'm not hitting a bong. I mean, I think those, not that, you know, hey, not saying that's just not me. Other people can do that and do live streams, but oh boy, that's not me. I can't even do that shit and not live stream. Like, I just can't do that. But that, you know, that always makes for an interesting live stream. But thanks, Paladin. Thanks, Analyst. Thanks, Linda. Thanks, Marie, Rose, Bill, Oregon Outback, 4RE, Foe, you guys, all of you. And everybody, like, I think, unless I was totally not paying attention, the chat went great. Like, no mods. Like, people, take care of your own damn self. Like, we're not two here. So I think everything went good. Check, Gail. Making my head hurt. Button, where's the off button? What I heard. Oh, I hope you get feeling better, Ellen. And yeah, this will be posted and the chat should be, I think, because I just let it do its own thing, and I think that's okay. And I think actually it went very good, and I don't even think that I missed anything like naughty happening in the chat, so that was good. Thanks, Howie. Glad you were here, buddy. Beanbag foe. Hey, I know a little bit something about the beanbag thing. I like that's not my. I don't know about all that. But yeah, we'll. You know, hey, I got nothing but time, so we're gonna be doing more of this. It'll get better. Maybe we can have an actual format at some point. I don't know, but sometimes it's nice to just like you guys kind of do your own thing anyway. So whatever I'm talking about is like good. But I think it was good. I think it was good. My head is not pounding like it was last time, and I actually feel pretty relaxed other than like my throat is starting to hurt and I like didn't have time to eat dinner. That's what I was trying to do. I was late. I'm like, man, I should have planned this a little bit better. So kind of hungry, but thanks everybody for being here, and I will talk to you soon. And you're going to hear crickets while I'm stopping this live chat, okay? You're not going to hear anything about, like, where's the button? What button? How do I turn this thing off? I think. I don't know. But I have a clicky. I have a lot of clicky things here, so you might hear some clicking. But thank you, you guys. I will see you soon. Thanks so much. Now, uh-oh. Why do I lose that? Oh, nope. Found it. Bye, guys. Thank you.